Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss a very beautiful short story written by Mulk Anand. The title of the short story is The Barber's Trade Union. Now, Mulk Anand is known for his novels and short stories, and he used to make the downtrodden people, the marginalized class, as his hero of his novels as well as his short story. Now, the story under consideration, the Barber's Trade Union, is about a barber child, Chandu. Now, Chandu being the protagonist of this short story, the Barber's Trade Union. The short story The Barber's Trade Union by Mulk Anand talks about a boy named Chandu who grows up in a family of barbers. The narrator and Chandu are childhood friends, and the narrator looks up to Chandu because he is a brave, smart, and always full of new ideas. After Chandu's father dies, he takes up the barber's work in the village. But the high caste people treat him badly because they think his work is low and impure. Even though Chandu works hard, they insult him and never respect him. The narrator, Mulkraj Anand, begins the short story by saying that Chandu, the barber boy, deserves to be remembered as one of the people who helped change India. However, people may not understand his importance unless the narrator explains it. Chandu did something brave and important, even though he himself did not realize how big or meaningful his actions were. Unlike many famous leaders, today we think too much of themselves. Chandu did not overestimate his importance. Still, he had a little bit of pride, which sometimes surprised people but also made him look charming. The narrator on one hand, and Chandu, the barber's boy, with a wooden stick on the other hand. Now, Chandu is full of ideas. He is not only brave but also full of ideas. He had a leadership quality as well within him. The narrator, Mulkraj Anand, says he has known Chandu since they were very small children. At that time, Chandu was so poor that he only wore a small cloth around his stomach. Both boys played together in the muddy village streets, pretending to be soldiers and shopkeepers and creating many fun games just to entertain themselves and their mothers. Their mothers were the only adult who paid attention to them. Chandu was about 6 months older than the narrator, so he always became the leader in their games. The narrator happily followed him because Chandu was very talented and brave. Chandu could catch wasps, remove their stings, tie their legs to a thread, and make them fly like little toys. The narrator admired him because whenever he tried to go near the insect, they would sting him on the face. But Chandu never got scared and handled everything with skill. The narrator considered Chandu to be perfect because he could make the fly kites, a very good design. At his school, Chandu was not so good at doing sums as the narrator because his father put him in learning the trade of a barber. His father used to send him to villages for hair cutting. He had no time for doing homework, but he was good at reciting poetry. He remembered all the verses in the textbook. The narrator's mother did not feel happy when Chandu won a scholarship at school, while the narrator had to pay fee to be taught. She constantly told the narrator not to play with Chandu by saying that he was a low caste boy and he must keep up the status of caste and class. The narrator had no sense of superiority of his class or caste. The narrator's mother used to put a red caste mark on his forehead every morning, and he put on uchkin, the tight trousers, the gold work shoes, and the silk turban. He wanted to wear clothes like Chandu. Chandu used to wear a pair of khaki shorts which the retired Subedar had given him, a black velvet waistcoat, and a round cap which had once belonged to Lala Hukum Chand, the lawyer of their village. The narrator envied Chandu the freedom of movement which he enjoyed after the death of his father. He used to go to the houses of upper caste people and cut their hair or shave them. When Lala Hukumchand went to town in his carriage, Chandu went with him by sitting on the footrest of the buggy. The narrator had to walk 3 miles to attend his schools at Jandiala. Chandu did not have to go to school, but he used to bring some gift for the narrator from the town. Chandu, who is cutting hair in his village of an upper caste boy. In the city, Chandu saw sahibs, the lawyers, the chaprasis, and the policemen wearing English style clothes. Once he told the narrator that he wanted to steal some money from home to buy a dress like that of Kallan Khan, the dentist. He was dressed in a starched shirt, an ivory collar, and bow tie. He wore a black coat and striped trousers and rubber overcoat and bumps. Then he asked the narrator if he, a barber educated up to the fifth class, would not look more dignified by wearing a dress like Dr. Kallan Khan. Chandu added that though he was not a doctor, he has learned how to treat pimples, boils, and cuts on people's bodies from his father, who had learned from his father. The image of Kallan Khan, the dentist, on one side, and the image of lawyer on the other side. The clothing of both the lawyer and the dentist fascinated Chandu a lot. The narrator agreed with his plan. He encouraged him a good deal, that his hero did. One day, Chandu dressed up in a turban, a white rubber coat, a pair of pumps, and a leather bag in his hand. He was going on his round and had come to see the narrator. How smart he looked in his new dress. The narrator told him that he looked marvelous. Then he left for the house of the landlord to save every morning. The narrator followed Chandu. He looked nice in a doctor's dress. He reached the doorstep of the landlord. Devi, the little son of the landlord, clapped his hands to announce the coming of Chandu, the barber, in a beautiful heroic dress like the Padri Sahab of the mission school. Vijay Chand, the stout landlord, was taking the name of God. He was just coming out of the lavatory. He called Chandu the son of a pig. He regretted that Chandu was bringing a leather bag of a cow hide into his house and the coat of the marrow of some animal and black shoes. He ordered him to get out as he was defiling his house. Chandu told him that he was wearing the dress of a doctor. He ordered him to wear clothes suiting his status as a barber. Chandu returned. His face was flushed as he had been insulted before the narrator. Then he rushed to the shop of Thanuram, the village Sahukar. He had a grocer's store at the corner of the lane. When the narrator reached Sahukar's shop, Devi, the landlord's son, began to cry at his father's harsh words for Chandu. He abused Chandu in the foulest words for wearing the dirty clothes of the hospital folk. He told him to come back in his own clothes. Then only he will let him cut his hair. Chandu felt very angry. He ran angrily past the narrator. He felt that Chandu hated him because he belonged to a superior caste. The narrator shouted after Chandu that he should go to Pandit Parmanand and tell him that the clothes were not dirty. Pandit Parmanand came out of the landlord's house. He said that the boys of the village had been spoiled by education, but the low caste boy has no right to such clothes. He has to touch the heads and the beards of people in the village. He should not defile them. Chandu heard what was said by Parmanand. He ran away from there. He seemed to have some set purpose in mind. The narrator's mother called him and told him that it was time for him to go to school. So he should eat and go to school. She advised him not to mix with the barber's boy, but the narrator was very disturbed about Chandu's fate all day. On his way back from school, he called in at the hut where Chandu lived with his mother. His mother was an ill tempered woman. The narrator wanted to know where Chandu was. She did not know where he was. She said that he earned some money by saving people on the roadside. She also said that he was having some funny ideas. She added that he should serve the clients his father used to serve. He is only a boy. She told the narrator that she will tell him that his friend wanted to play with him. He has just gone up the road. The narrator took leave of Chandu's mother. Chandu whistled for the narrator in the afternoon. He came. He invited the narrator to come for a walk. He told him that he earned a rupee by saving and hair cutting near the court that morning, as he had to come back on the back bar of Hukumchand's carriage early. In the afternoon he should have earned more. He told the narrator that he was going to teach a lesson to the caste conscious idiots. He was going on strike. He will not go to their houses to attend to them. He was going to buy a Japanese bicycle for 5 rupees. He shall learn to ride it as well. Chandu further adds that he will go to town every day. He will ride the bicycle with his overcoat, his black shoes, and white turban on his head. He will look fine in this dress. The narrator said that he would definitely look nice. The narrator supported Chandu's ideas. Chandu bought a cycle with the money he had made by haircuts and saving in the town. Then one day he started learning how to cycle. Chandu got on the cycle and the narrator started pushing him from the backside. Chandu could not keep balance and he fell down on the other side along with the bicycle. There were peals of laughter from the shop of the Sahukar. Then the Sahukar abused Chandu for being a rascal. He said that he would come to his sense only if he broke his bones. Chandu hung his head in shame. He told the narrator that he was worthless. The narrator had thought that Chandu would grip him by the neck and give him a good beating. Chandu did not lose courage. He decided to try riding bicycle again. The narrator told Chandu that he would hold the cycle tightly this time. The landlord again said that Chandu would break his bones by falling from the cycle. Chandu, however, told the narrator that he was not bothered. Chandu with his bicycle. Chandu again began to try riding. The people at the Sahukar shop were watching with interest. The narrator thought that Chandu would again fall and come to grief. Chandu's feet had got quite rightly on the paddles, and he was riding smoothly. The narrator was running behind the cycle. The narrator did not see Chandu the next day. For 1 or 2 days, the narrator did not see Chandu. But on the third day, Chandu showed the narrator some men of village sitting around the Sahukar's shop. He showed him the unshaven faces of the villagers. They were all looking unclean. The unhappy villagers, the unshaven villagers, because the barber boy Chandu is on a strike. Chandu told the narrator to run past the shop and call the elderly people beavers. The narrator did so. The peasants who had gathered round the shop laughed. The Sahukar shouted that the narrator should be caught. They said that the upper caste boy was also with Chandu. The rumor about the barber's boys' strike spread. Jokes about the dirty beards of the elders also spread. The landlord's wife threatened to run away with someone because she was 20 years younger than her husband. She had tolerated him as long as he looked neat and trim, but now she was disgusted with him because his appearance had become shabby. But Chandu's mother was seeing prosperity because of Chandu's increasing income. Then they thought of getting the barber of Varka to come and attend them. They offered him an anna instead of 2 peas they had usually paid to Chandu. Chandu opened a new shop and he asked other barbers from other villages to come and start their shops. He convinced them that it was time that the villagers came to them for haircut and shave. The Union of Barbers was given a new name. The name was Rajkot District Barbers Brothers Hairdressing and Shaving Saloon. The union has been followed by many other trade unions of working men. Chandu, who is responsible for bringing prosperity in the life of barbers among India. Thank you very much for watching this very beautiful video.